This is the Social Science Department, and we have initiated a project suggested by the CBSE, and the name of the project is Krishi Parichay, that is Introduction to Agriculture. And it is so apt that today being Pongal, the festival of harvest, and here our team is here to talk about this harvest festival. So can any of you say what is this symbolic festival is all about?
As we all know, today is Pongal. This is a harvest festival which we celebrate in southern part of our country. And as you can see, the crops which are harvested during this time are sugarcane, haldi, and also rice which is harvested. So we cook along with the jaggery, we cook the sweet pongal inside that pot. So that is how we celebrate this festival.
So taking this as a symbolic introduction to Krishi Parichay, let us move out and see how we could discuss about it further. Let's go. The first thing that strikes our mind is, and the person who comes in our friend is the farmer. So, Lal Bahadur Shastri had coined a very popular slogan, Jai Jawan,
Jai
Kisan. So I think when we think of Kisan, he has given a very popular slogan, Jai Jawan, because he was instrumental in winning the war against Pakistan, and Jai Kisan, he did a lot to the agricultural sector. So in what way you would like to talk to the children about this Krishi Parichay? You say a few sentences and each one of you can say a few sentences.
Agriculture, as we all know, India is land of agriculture, and almost 60% of our people in India, they work in agriculture. So it is a very important, you can say it's a very important area which provides employment to so many people directly and also indirectly.
I think nearly
And it also contributes 20% to 25% to our GDP as well. Yes.
Yeah. So I think for quite a long time the huge population depends on agriculture.
2/3 people are engaged in population.
Yeah. So it was nearly 70%. Now I think it has come
It
down.
has reduced.
It has reduced because of the migration to the cities. And what would you like to speak and what?
Agriculture being a very primary occupation, and it's a very important occupation, as rightly Roshni said, that it provides employment to many, and also agriculture, organic product in agricultural farms these days have really taken a very important place in our life, because we are deprived of organic food, as mostly we find that the foods are with the excessive use of fertilizer to provide the needs of the growing population.
Who started this fertilizer? Because in earlier times there was no concept of fertilizer. Then of course the Food Corporation of India was established, and a lot of fertilizer industries were established. Who brought in this concept, and how this fertilizer took a turn in the agricultural sector?
It's basically by 1960s we found that agricultural production had to be increased, and here to meet the growing needs of the population, Green Revolution was one of the most important revolution which brought in all modern methods of farming and increased agricultural production to a great extent. During this time, it was all high variety seeds and modern machineries and fertilizers, pesticides, chemicals, and all these were introduced.
Talking about machinery, what are the disadvantages that the farmers have in using machinery in the Indian sector?
So as most of our farmers are below poverty line, they are not able to afford to buy such huge machineries. Investments are more, and the lack of knowledge of the use of advanced.
So, what has the government initiated in order to enable them to buy the machinery?
So the government is providing them some aids,
Subsidies.
We started cooperative banks,
Cooperative banks,
village
subsidies,
panchayats, and
providing
cooperative
them
banks.
loans and
Loans.
educated the
Yes.
farmers.
regularly
And another important feature of our Indian agriculture, as probably all of you know, which does not facilitate using huge machinery.
Is
What is it?
the land size is very
Land size.
small. It's because
The
of
land is fragmented.
law of
They have
inheritance.
what we call small land holding.
Yes.
And so this small land holding, we cannot use big machinery. So there was an innovation on that. Can any of you tell me what is that innovation that brought in that even in this small land holding, instead of big tractor, they can use a machinery?
One was consolidation of land holdings. They started
Very good.
consolidating,
Yes.
and in hand, I think there was hand machinery. The small
That's called a
tractors.
wheelbarrow
Yes.
machinery,
Yes.
wheelbarrow tractor.
Yeah.
And that's a very good point that you said. One is the how you bring consolidation. In order to do that, I think not very popular, but it was initiated cooperative farming, where people used to like
come together.
cooperative
Pooling their
farming,
resources.
pooling,
Pooling
that's
their
land resources and all that. So, agriculture is a very big sector, and we can talk for a long time on this. There are so many ways by which the agriculture has a strong impact in our life, and even now we are dependent on agriculture for our livelihood. And of late, a new development has taken place in the agriculture sector. What is it? Drip irrigation, yes. Yes.
Going organic.
Yeah, going organic and commercialization of agriculture in terms of organic farming.
Yes.
without soil.
So I would like to add one point. At this situation where we all are at home during our COVID situation, when it was lockdown, most of the people were, the first thing they thought was to the storage of the materials for food grains. They ran about outside just to store food grains and food items at home. So that shows that is the main
In other words, when crisis come,
Food. It is the food which is the
ultimately
priority.
the product of the agriculture is what we look for.
Yes.
So, anyway, it was a very interesting session that we had with our teachers here of the Social Science Department, and I wish you all a very interesting activity based on this Krishi Parichay, and I'm sure you will have a very interesting activity, and your students also will contribute a lot in terms of certain action plan that we have done. So, wish you all the best, and Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
is the only man in our economy who buys everything at retail, sells everything at wholesale, but still has to pay the freight both ways. A warm welcome to one and all present here. Today, the social exhibition is based on the topic Krishi Parichay.
As we are all aware, the agricultural sector is the most important backbone of our Indian economy. The agricultural production has kept pace with the popular growth of 21% per annum.
Today, we are the second largest producers of wheat, rice, fruits, vegetables, and freshwater aquaculture. We are also the largest exporters of cashew and spices.
Cropping techniques are changing, and new commercial and non-traditional crops are becoming more important in line with domestic demands and cultural requirements.
The term Green Revolution refers to a sustained and continuous increase in agricultural productivity or a yield per acre. The results have been seen in new high-yielding or improved varieties of crops that have found growing acceptance in most Asian countries.
This is supported by a rapid decrease in the use of chemical fertilizers. The Government of India has adopted a new agricultural strategy that comes in many different names. In fact, the Green Revolution is the most important single technological advancement in agriculture in India during the plan period.
Food is a basic life-sustaining substance essential for human life. Food has had multiple social, cultural and psychological influences on the state of mankind.
Now let us look into a story at the Mishra household. It tells us about how the components of food on our plates moved from the farms to our plates with the hard work of the farmers.
Hi, hello, namaste. A warm welcome to all of you. Today I'm here to tell you something very interesting. Something meaningful happened at the Mishra household. Let's look into it. There are two siblings, Maya Mishra and Yash Mishra. The Mishra family is merrily having dinner with a few joyful chatters. Let's see what happens next.
Oh, I'm so stuffed. I don't think I can eat this anymore. I guess I just have to throw this away now.
Yash, stop! What do you think you're doing? Do you know how much hard work goes into getting food from the farms to the plates? Come with me, let me share a story with you.
I cannot believe that the kids these days waste us away.
I know, right? How disrespectful.
Hey, wait. I have seen you both before. I dare say you both have become older now.
Us? Old? Never. We have just become more processed like you.
We were once together, but were separated by the PDS system.
Public distribution system evolved as a system of management of scarcity through distributing food grains at affordable prices. The central government, through the help of the FCI, has taken the responsibility of transportation and storage of the food grains. Advantage of the public distribution system. PDS helped to ensure that the poor sections of the society also had their access to the food. It also helped in stabilizing the food prices.
PDS in Karnataka, in brief, the scheme aims to provide 30 kilograms of rice per family per month at the price of 1 kilogram to below poverty line in families across the state. The program covers a total of 108.98 priority households. Present status of PDS in Karnataka. Karnataka's PDS is loaded with errors of exclusion of actual BPL families from the BPL status and inclusion of APL families in the BPL category and the prevalence of ghost cards or excess BPL cards. Karnataka is among the states that have more cards issued than the people. The government of Karnataka have distributed nearly 1.6 crore of ration cards, where actually there were only 1.2 crore people, which means that nearly 40 lakh ghosts or eligible cards. According to the Program Revolution Organization of the Planning Commission, Karnataka in 2005 was among the states which showed high leakage of grains that occurred through the fake ration cards.
Tamil Nadu government is implementing universal public distribution system and no exclusion is made based on income criteria. The Chief Minister has made a universal public distribution system poor-friendly by ordering rice at free of cost under public distribution system to all eligible cardholders from 1st June 2011. Tamil Nadu Civil Supplies Corporation procures rice and other essential commodities required for public distribution system from food corporations of India and from tenders. Distribution of commodities to fair price shops is being carried out by Tamil Nadu Civil Supplies Corporations and a cooperative society.
PDS in Maharashtra. The ration card holders in the state are supplied food grains under PDS. The state of Maharashtra is a different state in food grain production. The food grain requirement is met by producing food grains from local food grain producers, importing food grains from other states, and by producing food grains from central government under the PDS. Although beneficiaries do not purchase the satisfactory quota at once. Further, the card holders do not purchase full allocated quota every time. Whenever open market prices of the food grains are higher than the price under the targeted public distribution system, the requirement of these food grains under TPDS increases.
Andhra Pradesh is one of the states pursuing a vigorous public distribution policy. While Andhra Pradesh is a substantial state encompassing large surplus as well as deficit tracts within its area, it is the government's primary duty to look that all its people should live with maximum quality. The public distribution system easily visualizes in terms of checking inflation and protecting vulnerable sections from the vagaries of the market.
Hi.
Hello. Thanks a lot for agreeing to teach me what I have missed in school because of my accident.
Hey, that's no problem. I am happy to help. Let's get started then.
Sure.
The most important thing we learned is PDS, also known as the Public Distribution System. Let's get started.
Good afternoon, class. We are going to learn a new topic today. The PDS or the Public Distribution System. So what is the Public Distribution System? Public Distribution System is a government-sponsored chain of shops entrusted with the work of distributing basic food and non-food commodities to the needy sections of the society at very cheap prices.
Sir, what was its main purpose?
It helps in ensuring food and nutritional security of the nation and help in stabilizing food prices and making food available to the poor at affordable prices.
So, I take it that PDS was a huge hit?
Oh no. Very often PDS is being criticized for ineffectiveness and inefficiency in achieving its objectives.
A few hours later. So, this was basically it.
Oh great. Thanks.
Ah, the days we were seeds. We were so small. I wish we could reminisce those memories.
Then let us do that. Do you remember those wonderful moments when water was sprinkled on top of us? We were nourished and taken care of.
Good morning everyone. My name is Vihan and today I'm gonna give an introduction on rice. Rice is important in our day-to-day life. Rice is a source of protein and contains various vitamins such as thiamine, niacin and minerals such as zinc and phosphorus. Botanical name Oryza sativa. Family Poaceae. It is a monocot. It is self-pollinated. It has fibrous roots. It is semi-aquatic plant and plants are about 1 meter tall. How is rice grown? The fields are initially plowed and then fertilizers is applied, which typically consist of cow dung, and the field is moved. The seeds are transplanted by hand and then through proper irrigation. The seeds are cultivated. Rice grows on a variety of soil like silts, loams and gravels. How long does it take to grow a grain of rice? Depending on the variety, a rice crop usually reaches maturity at around 105 or 150 days after crop establishment. Harvesting activities include cutting, stacking, handling, threshing, and cleaning. Good harvesting methods help maximize grain yield and minimize grain damage. Rice production is total 600 million tons in the whole world. In terms to area and production, it is second to wheat. In India, rice is grown in almost all the states in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab. West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh have the highest rice production. Thank you.
Millets are cereal crops and small seed grasses, which are widely used in African and Asian countries. Millets are grown in about 21 states. Rajasthan being the highest producing state within the country. Other major being Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Uttarakhand and Haryana. The crop is grown as food for consumption and fodder for livestock. The crop is favored due to its productivity and short growing season under dry, high temperature conditions. The ideal temperature for its cultivation is about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius and requires a moderate amount of rainfall of 25 to 75 centimeter. It can be grown in the drier areas with the help of irrigation.
Hello everyone, as you all know, millets are a group of highly variable small-seeded grasses which are widely grown as cereal crops or grains. The most commonly used millets are ragi, which is also known as finger millet, pearl millet, which is also known as bajra, foxtail millet, which is also known as kangni, jowar, and little millet. Ragi, as you all know, is very good for health and is used in making dishes like ragi roti, ragi dosa, and ragi balls. Pearl millet, which is rich in antioxidants, is used in making bajra roti and bajra khichdi. To conclude, I would like to tell that millets are very beneficial to control sugar and cholesterol levels. It is gluten-free and it has high fiber content. So please add it in your daily diet.
Hi friends, I am Mohammed Al-Sufi from Presidency. Today I am going to share some information on coffee distribution in India. Coffee came to India before the East Indian Company by a Sufi sage named Baba Budan. The first growing of coffee in India is from the coffee beans of Yemen to the hills of Tirumagallur district in Karnataka. Coffee is of two types, Arabica and Robusta. Arabica is mild coffee with great aroma and taste and having higher market value compared to Robusta beans. Arabica is grown in the months between November to January, while Robusta is grown in the months between December to April. The soil required for the growth of coffee is deep sand loam, and the soil which drains well are good for cultivation. Coming to the temperature and rainfall, it requires 20 to 27 degrees Celsius of temperature, and the growth is more during the rainy season, and during cool dry season the berries ripen and get ready for picking. Bright sunshine and warm weather is good for harvesting. Coffee requires 100 to 200 centimeters of rainfall for cultivation. Therefore, coffee is grown on slope hills of 600 to 1,800 meters in height. Water stagnation is harmful for the coffee plants. We are grateful that 71% of the coffee is produced in our state, followed by Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Andhra Pradesh and Orissa are newly developed coffee states. Now I am going to share you a sample on instant coffee.
Tea is undoubtedly a staple drink among all the Indians. In India, people can go without food, but never without a cup of morning tea. Offering a tea is a token of hospitality in Indian society. Be the season summer, winter or rainy, a cup of hot tea with a plate full of snacks are a must in service of guests across the country. India is the second largest producer and exporter of tea in the world. The Indian tea industry has grown to adopt many global tea brands and known for its famous tea variety. Tea is obtained from the leaves of the tropical plant of the Camellia family. It is a small evergreen shrub that is constantly pruned to a height of 1.5 meter on plantations. Considering its topography, tea grows best on sloping terrains known as tea estates or tea plantations. They are constructed terraces that prevent erosion and also trap water. Even though they need a good amount of rainfall between 150 to 250 centimeter, its roots can never tolerate stagnant water. Tea plantations grow well in hot and humid climate with an ambient temperature between 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. But a temperature above 32 degrees can be really disastrous for the crop. A heavy dew and morning fog adds to a better yield and better quality of tea. In short, the best tea is produced in regions that have dry days and cool nights. Tea bush grows well in well-drained deep loamy soil. Soils rich in humus and iron content are considered to be the best. Assam is the leading producer that accounts for more than 50% of tea production in India. They are produced on the hill slopes bordering the Brahmaputra and Surma valleys. West Bengal is the second largest producer and Tamil Nadu the third. The next time you read Sleepy for your morning cup, remember it isn't just tea you are consuming. It's history, diversity and culture all amalgamated into one single cup. Thank you.
Good day. Pulses, as we know, is a major source of protein. Wouldn't it be interesting for us to learn about different varieties of pulses? So here I am, Daita of class 60, to tell you about some insights in distribution of pulses across India. Did you know India is one of the largest producer as well as consumer in the world? While there are a variety of pulses growing in India, I am going to be talking about groundnut and soybean. Groundnut is one of the most oil-seeded crop in India. The states in which groundnut is mainly grown are Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Go. Temperature needed for a groundnut to grow is 26 degrees to 30 degrees Celsius. Amount of rainfall is 600 to 1500 millimeter. As we know, there can be a variety of food items that are made by using groundnuts. The sand or soil needed for a groundnut to grow in a sandy, loamy soil. Now let's talk about soybean. The main or major states where it's grown is Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. The same as groundnut, soybean also needs 26 degree to 30 degrees Celsius. Amount of rainfall is 600 to 650 millimeter. There can be many variety of food items made by using soya bean. The soil needed for it to grow in are loamy soil.
Hello everyone, I am Riya Dev from class 60. Today I will be teaching you about oil seeds. Today we will be learning about two oil seeds. They are the mustard oil seeds and the sesame oil seeds. Now let's go into detail about the mustard oil seeds. The mustard seed is used as a spice in Pakistan, India and Bangladesh. The oil of mustard seeds is used for body massage in Maharashtra. It is said that the oil of this mustard seed keeps the body warm during extreme winters in Maharashtra. It is known as shoshe in West Bengal, and the oil of mustard seeds is known as shoshe tel in West Bengal. It is used in many varieties of pickles in India. It takes about 8 to 10 days for germination. It grows in moist soil. The brown and black seeds return higher yield than the yellow counterparts. Now let's go into detail about the sesame seeds. The sesame seed is said to be the oldest oil seed ever to be grown. It is over 3000 years old. It is grown in fertile soil of medium texture. It is known as the til seed in India. One of the dishes made by sesame seed is known as til patti. It is grown in warm conditions about 23 degrees Celsius and 70 or 73 degrees Fahrenheit is favored for its growth and yield. It can trigger some allergic reactions. The sesame seed was first domesticated in the Indian subcontinent. It is also said to have the highest oil content. Now let's see where the mustard seeds and the sesame seeds are grown. The mustard seed is mainly grown in Rajasthan and in Haryana. The sesame seed is mainly grown in West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh. Now I will show you how mustard seed and sesame seed looks like and how the products look like. The mustard seeds look like this. As you can see with the mustard seeds which I have, some of them are brown and some of them are black. This is how sesame seeds look like. This is how the oil of mustard looks like. And this is how the oil of sesame seeds looks like. One of the dish made out of the sesame seeds is known as tilpatti.
Hello everyone, my name is Nahush, studying class 6E Presidency School. In this video, I'll explain you our cotton distribution in India. So what is cotton? Cotton is a white, soft, fluffy material made out of twisted hide that surrounds the seed of a tall plant, which is later spun into a thread or a yarn. Now let's see the places in India where cotton grows. In north, in India, cotton grows in Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan. In the central, cotton grows in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha. In south, it grows in Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Now let's see the geographical conditions required for the growth of cotton. The temperature should be between 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. The rainfall should be between 60 centimeters to 100 centimeters. Black soil is preferred to cultivate cotton. Now let's see the uses of cotton. Cotton is used for every type of clothing from jackets to normal shirts. In home, it finds its use in bed sheets as well as curtains. Its seed oil is used in food and cosmetics. It is also used in coffee filters.
Hi all, I'm Saranya and I'm going to be telling about jute, a cash crop of India. First let's see its geographical conditions. Jute crop requires humid climate with temperature fluctuating between 24 degrees Celsius and 38 degrees Celsius. Minimum rainfall required for jute is 1000 mm. The new grey alluvial soil is most suitable for its growth. However, jute is grown widely in sand dunes and clay dunes. To know better about jute, let us see a few examples which are here. Next, let us see the places where jute is grown. So as you can see in this India map, here in Bihar, in West Bengal, Meghalaya and Assam, it is grown more. But in out of India, if you see, it is grown in Bangladesh as well.
Yes, we were taken care of really nice. Do you remember our past crop names? I think I was wheat, curd rice was rice and dal was lentils.
When I look back in our lives, we were initially grown traditionally. That method was amazing because no chemical was used on us.
What is the nomadic way of life? Nomadism way of life of people who don't live continuously in the same place but move cyclically or periodically. It is distinguished from migration, which is non-cyclic and involves a total change of habit.
Nomadic farming. Nomadic pastoralism is a form of pastoralism where livestock are herded in order to find fresh pastures on which to graze. True nomads follow an irregular pattern of movement in contrast and transformance where seasonal pastures are fixed.
Will nomads farm? Many communities began farming independently and they did so at very difficult times. Some communities did a bit of farming, domesticated some animals and remained largely nomadic. Others farmed so near the year and relied trade and other times.
Of nomadic farming, arable farming, pastoral farming, mixed farming, subsistence farming, commercial farming, extensive and intensive farming. Nomadic farming, sedentary. Advantages of nomadic farming are nomadic pastoralism is of far greater importance to many economics than the relative small number of nomads would imply. Nomads produce valuable products like meat, wool, and milk. Traditional pastoralism turns grassland to economic advantage.
Disadvantages of nomadic farming. Always having to move with your herd because of the constant need of new grass, which makes it harder to establish cities.
Nomadic herding. Generally, they rear cattle, sheep, goats, camels, and yaks for milk, skin, meat, and wool. This way of life is common in parts of Central and Western Asia, India, East and Southwest Africa, and Northern Eurasia. Examples are the nomadic Bhutias and Gujaras of the Himalayas.
Nomadic herding is a subsistence practice of grazing. People raise animals of their own food and move from place to place in areas available with pasture.
Agriculture. What do we mean by this word? Agriculture is a branch of science where we study about plant cultivation, animal husbandry, etc. There are a lot of branches of agriculture. Some of them are aqua farming, horticulture, sericulture, etc. Commercial farming. In this farming, people practice both plant and livestock production. Here the main intention is to earn more money. And people use a lot of laborers. So, this cultivation is also known as labor-based farming. Dairy farming. As we can know from the name, dairy farming is a class of agriculture for the production of milk and its products, usually from cows but sometimes from sheep and goats as well. In short words, it's a farm which deals with cows and its products. Last but not the least type, mixed farming. Mixed farming is almost as same as commercial farming, but it does have a few differences. Let me state two of them. First, commercial farming is done in large scale, whereas mixed farming is done in small scale. Second, commercial farming usually produces grains like wheat and maize, whereas mixed farming usually tries to produce anything that can be cultivated in the same farm.
Hi, my name is Harini and I am from class 7C. Today I am going to talk about subsistence farming. Agriculture is the primary source of livelihood in India, but today we are going to talk only about one topic, which is subsistence farming. Subsistence agriculture occurs when farmers grow food crops to meet the needs of themselves and their families on small holdings. Subsistence agriculturists target farm output for survival and for mostly local requirements with little or no surplus. Planting decisions occur principally with an eye towards what the family will need during the coming year and only secondarily towards market prices. History of subsistence farming. Subsistence agriculture was a dominant mode of production in the world until recently, when market-based capitalism became widespread. Subsistence agriculture had largely disappeared in Europe by the beginning of World War I, and in North America with the movement of sharecroppers and tenant farmers out of the American South and Midwest during the 1930s and the 1940s. Shifting types of subsistence farming. Shifting agriculture. In this type of agriculture, a patch of forest land is cleared by a combination of felling and burning, as you can see in the picture, and then crops are grown. After 2 to 3 years, the fertility of the soil begins to decline, and the land is abandoned, and the farmer moves on to clear a fresh piece of land elsewhere in the forest as the process continues. Primitive farming. Primitive farming uses the slash and burn technique, where the farmers burn the fields to clear the land and to provide fertilizer, which is the ash. This photo depicts the process of primitive farming. nomadic herding. In this type of farming, people migrate along with their animals from one place to another in search of fodder for their animals. Generally, they rear cattle, sheep, goats, camel, or yaks for milk, skin, meat, and wool. This way of life is common in parts of Central and Western Asia, India, East and Southwest of Africa, and Northern Eurasia. Case study. Day by day, subsistence farming is declining. So let's see an example of this agriculture in today's world. In Kerala, Uma Maheshwari and his family do not buy rice at all. You wonder why? While a 20-cent plot of land in the outskirts of the city cradles their own paddy fields, a well-maintained kitchen garden on the terrace of their Kaudia residence provides them with enough for day-to-day needs. Saying to this is the 6-cent land around the house where some indispensable spices such as ginger, turmeric and black pepper, bananas and tubers such as chenna chem are cultivated. This picture is Uma Maheshwaran's terrace garden.
Greetings to everyone. My name is Vatipriya Mukherjee and I am from class 7D. Today I am going to tell you what is shifting cultivation. What is shifting agriculture? Shifting cultivation is nothing but when a piece of land is burnt and cleared for future crop cultivation. Now there are some steps that should be followed while shifting agriculture, which is the first step, to choose a proper land. Next, to cut the trees. Third, burning of the land. Then sowing of seed, cutting of weeds, and then harvesting. Now there are some advantages and disadvantages of shifting cultivation. So let's first see the advantages. The advantages are crops grow fast, potash is added to the land, and no danger of grazing animals. Disadvantages of shifting cultivation are deforestation and air pollution. Places where shifting cultivation is practiced. The map here you can see are the places where shifting cultivation is practiced except this area. Mostly Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh. Because the northeastern part of India has more forests and can be used for shifting cultivation.
Hello everybody, this is Joel and today I'm going to introduce you to plantation agriculture. What is plantation agriculture? Plantation agriculture, or simply plantations, is a type of commercial farming in which a single cash crop is grown throughout the year. It is normally grown on a large scale. Hence, a large amount of space is required for this type of farming. Along with this, labor is also required. Normally, they are grown only for money-making purposes. That is, cash crops are used for plantation agriculture. Let us learn more on plantations. Some plantation crops grown are cotton, coffee, tea, sugarcane, rubber, etc. These crops are common in tropical regions or the temperate zone, which is humid and wet almost year-long. In India, Kerala for rubber, Assam for tea, Karnataka for coffee, and Punjab for cotton are some states which are well known for their vast plantations. Here are some images of plantations. This is a tea plantation. Those of you who have been to Munnar would have seen these tea plantations. We can also see some tea leaves here. This is a rubber plantation. We can see how the rubber trees are arranged and how the sap is collected from them. This is a coffee plantation. we can see the coffee bushes and the ripe coffee beans. This is a cotton plantation. We can see the cotton bushes as well as the cotton buds.
Later on, we had new methods. They were beneficial too because we weren't destroyed by pests.
Okay, so what was the Green Revolution? The Green Revolution in India refers to a period when agriculture was converted into an industrial system due to the adoption of modern methods and technology such as the use of high-yielding variety seeds, tractors, irrigation facilities, pesticides and fertilizers. So this is a picture of a tractor and this is an example of HYV seeds. Mainly led by agricultural scientist M.S. Swaminathan, which is him, in India, this period was part of the larger Green Revolution endeavor initiated by Norman Borlaug, which leveraged agricultural research and technology to increase agricultural productivity in the developing world. So it was under the premiership of Congress leader Indira Gandhi, the Green Revolution within India commenced in the year 1966, leading to an increase in food grain production, especially in three states of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Major milestones in this undertaking were the development of high-yielding varieties of wheat and rust-resistant strains of wheat. Wheat production and other practices in the Green Revolution. So, the main development was higher yielding varieties of wheat for developing rust-resistant strains of wheat. The introduction of high-yielding varieties or HYV seeds and the improved quality of fertilizers and irrigation techniques led to the increase in production to make the country self-sufficient in food grains, thus improving agriculture in India. The methods adopted included the use of high-yielding variety seeds with modern farming methods. Some other practices. They were the irrigation infrastructure, use of pesticides, insecticides and herbicides, consolidation of holdings, land reforms, improved rural infrastructure, supply of agricultural credit, use of chemical and synthetic fertilizers, use of sprinklers or drip irrigation systems, use of advanced machinery, and use of vector quantity. So this is a picture of a man using pesticides. This is a picture of a type of irrigation. This is a picture of a pesticide. This is a picture of a lawn fertilizer. And this is a picture of a sprinkler system, which is very common these days. So high yield variety seeds. Compared to traditional seeds, HYV seeds promise to produce much greater amounts of grain on a single plant. As a result, the same piece of land would now produce far larger quantities of grains than was possible earlier. However, these seeds needed plenty of water and chemical fertilizer and pesticides to produce best results, which meant that they needed lots of maintenance. Higher yields were possible only from a combination of HYV seeds, irrigation, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, etc. This was very expensive. Last but not the least, we have the pros and cons of the Green Revolution. So pros and cons. First we will discuss pros. The seeds would grow faster, there would be multiple yields, the food quality was much better, there was increased tolerance to diseases, pests and weeds, reduction in biodiversity. Now coming to cons. The seeds were very expensive, some required more fertilizers, water and pesticides, and like I told, this meant that they needed a lot of maintenance, they had an impact on health due to the increased amounts of pesticides and fertilizers.
The ultimate goal of farming is not the growing of crops but the cultivation and perfection of human beings. Greetings everyone, I am Janani and today I will enrich and enhance your knowledge on the topic hydroponics. What is hydroponics? The science of soilless gardening is called hydroponics. It basically involves growing healthy plants without the use of a traditional soil medium by using a nutrient-like, mineral-rich water solution instead. A plant just needs select nutrients, some water and sunlight to grow. How is hydroponics obtained? The nutrients in hydroponics could be obtained from duck manure, fish waste and from normal nutrients. As we all know, plants need soil for their nutrients. Hydroponics system follows the same principle as all the necessary nutrients are supplied well in advance.
So the agricultural practices that are followed in India are subsistence farming, shift agriculture, plantation agriculture, intensive farming, dry agriculture, mixed and multiple agriculture, crop rotation, permanent agriculture, terrace cultivation.
Multi-purpose river projects. Multi-purpose river projects are special kinds of dams that are not only used for storing water but also to provide irrigation and generate hydroelectricity. Some of these include the Almaty Dam, the Bhakra Nangal Dam and the Chamera hydroelectric project.
Irrigation, surface irrigation, localized irrigation and drip irrigation. Let's look at a few pictures of surface irrigation, drip irrigation and localized irrigation. The first one is surface irrigation. Surface irrigation is where water is applied and distributed over the soil surface by a physical phenomenon which is gravity. It is by far the most common form of irrigation throughout the world and it has been practiced in many areas virtually unchanged for thousands of years. So surface irrigation is also known as flood irrigation and it implies that the water distribution is uncontrolled and it is hence inherently inefficient. Some of the irrigation practices grouped under this name involve a significant degree of management and surge irrigation is an example of this. Surface irrigation comes in three major types which is level basin, furrow and border strip. Surface irrigation is widely utilized nowadays and it is therefore a well-known system which can be operated without any high technological applications. But it is a more labor-intensive irrigation than the other ones. Proper design of surface irrigation systems takes into account the soil type, that is the texture, and the infiltration rate, that is how much water can it allow to penetrate, the slope of the land, the levelness of the field, the stream size, and the length of the run. Leveling the fields and building the water ditches and reservoirs might be expensive, but once this is done, costs are low and the self-help capacity is very high in surface irrigation. Now let us come to localized irrigation. Localized irrigation is a method of applying water that results in wetting only a small area of the soil surface. Water is applied near the base of the plant so that the application is concentrated in the root zone itself and this thus helps in conservation of water by decreasing the evaporation rate and helps in minimizing the water wastage. And drip irrigation also comes under localized irrigation itself. Coming to drip irrigation. Drip irrigation is a method by which the water is allowed to fall drop by drop only on the roots of plants. This method is excellent for regions with water scarcity as in this method there is no wastage of water. So that is the reason it is practiced in dry regions like Rajasthan, Gujarat among others and it comes under localized irrigation itself.
The traditional methods of irrigation, the Rahat system and the chain pump. Sprinkler irrigation. Sprinkler irrigation is a method of applying irrigation water which is like rainfall. Water is distributed through a system of pipes, usually by pumping. It is then sprayed into the air and irrigates the entire soil surface through spray heads so that it breaks up into small water drops which fall into the ground. The advantages of sprinkler irrigation are that it helps us to save water and it is suitable to almost all types of soil except heavy clay soil, and it also influences conductive microclimate and the appropriate technique for irrigating crops where the plant population per unit area is very high. So now let's see a differentiation between Rahat system and chain pump. So the Rahat system of irrigation requires large well in which a wheel is used. The wheel is turned by oxen, buffalo or cows to get the water out of the well and then spread over the crops. It was primarily used in the subcontinent of Africa and Middle East. The chain pump is a type of water pump in which several circular discs are positioned on an endless chain. One part of a chain dips into the water and the chain runs through a tube slightly bigger than the diameter of the discs. Chain pumps were used in centuries in ancient Middle
I'm Kokila and I'm from AT. Today I'll be talking about organic farming. What exactly is organic farming? According to me, it's a farming that's done with less chemicals and less pesticides. Well, now I have a slideshow to show you guys. Organic farming. Why do we prefer organic food? It is mostly because it grows naturally with less chemicals. Also, it has more nutritional value because it takes its own time to grow. Is it healthier? Yes. It is indeed more healthier than the food that have more chemicals and pesticides.
The farmers put a lot of effort to make sure that we strive to feed the people. They are very compassionate to us.
Yeah, they were so good-hearted. They even had festival for us during our harvests.
Oh yeah, they celebrated us too gleefully. It was the harvest festivals.
ಸೌಂಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದು ಒಳ್ಳ అంతేనా
ఇదే
തിരുവാവണിരാവ് മനസാകെ നിലാവ് മലയാള ചുണ്ടിൽ മലരോട പാട്ട്
തിരുവാവണിരാവ് മനസാകെ നിലാവ് മലയാള ചുണ്ടിൽ മലരോണപ്പാട്ട്
മാവിൻ കൊമ്പേറും ഒരു പൂവാലിക്കുയിലേ മാവേലി തമ്പ്രാനെ വരവായ ചൊല്ല് തിരുവാവണിരാവ്
മനസാകെ നിലാവ്
മലയാള ചുണ്ടിൽ മലരോണ പാട്ട് തിരുവാവണിരാവ് മനസാകെ നിലാവ് മലയാള ചുണ്ടിൽ
ਲੱਭਦਾ ਨੀ ਕਿਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਡੋਰੀਆ ਲੱਭਦਾ ਨੀ ਕਿਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਡੋਰੀਆ ਪੌਣੀਆਂ ਚ ਬੈਠ ਪਾਏ ਪਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁੱਤ ਵਾਲੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਭਦੀ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਛੜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁੱਤ ਵਾਲੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਭਦੀ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਛੜੇ ਨਹੀਂ
ਵਿਰਤ ਤਾਲੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਜਾਗਦਾ ਰਵੇ
ਤੂੰ ਸਿੱਖੜ ਦੁਪਹਿਰ ਵਰਗੀ
ਵਿਰਤ ਤਾਲੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਜਾਗਦਾ ਰਵੇ
ਤੂੰ ਸਿੱਖੜ ਦੁਪਹਿਰ ਵਰਗੀ
ਮੈਂ ਸੱਚਮੁੱਚ ਪਰੇ ਲੱਗਦੀ
ਨਾ ਨਾ ਭਾਈ ਤੇਰੇ ਪੈਰ ਵਰਗੀ
ਮੈਂ ਸੱਚਮੁੱਚ ਪਰੇ ਲੱਗਦੀ
ਨਾ ਨਾ ਭਾਈ ਤੇਰੇ ਪੈਰ ਵਰਗੀ
ਮੈਂ ਸੱਚਮੁੱਚ ਪਰੇ ਲੱਗਦੀ
ਨਾ ਨਾ ਭਾਈ ਤੇਰੇ ਪੈਰ ਵਰਗੀ
Those were the good old days where we were wanted and needed. Nowadays, the people have decided to waste us and we have become unwanted to the people. I don't know how much work of the farmers goes to the drain.
Yash, did you see that? Did you see how diligent the farmers are? I hope you learned something from the story.
Yes, I'm sorry. I regret my actions now. I know that many people did not get to eat food at all. I'll make sure going forward that I did not waste even one morsel of rice.
Good. Because respect for food is respect for life, for who we are and what we do.
This was the incident my peer Shreya was talking about. Crops are grown with great difficulty by farmers. Wasting food is like wasting their hard work and effort. Today's wastage is tomorrow's shortage. Let's look past our mistakes and stop wasting food. Thank you for listening.
Honorable Principal Sir Dr. G. Tangudurai, Vice Principal Ma'am, CODs, teachers, and our valuable invited guests. Ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow mates, it's my privilege to offer thanks at this occasion. I thank Principal Sir, Vice Principal Ma'am, and Admin Ma'am for giving us this opportunity to host the exhibition. I also thank the Social Department teachers for their guidance. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to record my heartfelt thanks to the entire social department, the students who participated, and the technical team for putting this wonderful exhibition together. I also thank all the audience for their heavy cooperation and for making it much more lively. Lastly, I conclude by saying there is so much more to a performance than just a couple of videos put together. There is a lot of teamwork that goes into putting this event together. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words but to live by them. I hope all of us not only appreciate their effort but also take back home the learnings and follow it.